Well, fun. Hey, we got specials. In fact, I want you to say hi to the bartender. Big hand for our bartender, Nick. Right there's Nick. Tonight, pictures of Long Beach, okay? And also pictures of sex on the dryer. Anybody ever tried that? Or sex on the washer? Or do it close by hand. Doesn't really matter. All right. I like you people. We also have something refreshing on a hot day, lemon ice. And then on sale, a 12-ounce T-bone steak. And also chicken tenders. The menu's good. Try the munchies. They're all good. And let's get going here. All right, next up, from our audience. I believe this is first time on stage, isn't it? First time ever on this stage. Welcome, Rick Anzer. Rick Anzer.
Hello, Clooney Stock. Hello. Thank you, Pete. I'm Sam. Yeah, I'm a comedy virgin, first time up here, so please be gentle with me. I'm a little apprehensive saying that because most people say that they end up getting or told to go back to accounting and get to work. Yeah, I didn't count was going to give much. I make fun of accountants because back in my day, back in the Stone Age, this was before computers, that's where the geeks were. They wore pop bottle glasses, drank coffee, smoked cigarettes, had their nose in a book, and couldn't buy a date if they had to. But 2 years after graduation, they're knocking down 80K and driving a sports car with flaunting women. Go figure. Woo! Yeah, they did. Joke's on me. Speaking of college, I've got a daughter in college, Ohio State. Yeah. I go down to see her every now and then, and when I do, I trip back in time, like 30-some years. And that wild man inside of me comes alive, and I think I can hold my own with the crazies. But I look at them and I notice they're wearing shirts from my generation. They're wearing the Led Zeppelin, the Pink Floyd, the AC/DC. That was my generation. And I guess, that makes them look like amateurs. But to them, I look like Wilford Brimley. Eat your own meal, don't get diabetes. I was told that if you go to college and graduate and get a career in your field, that you'll have a better life. I don't know. I've heard that. What I do know is if you don't graduate, it can screw you up for the rest of your life. You're 53 years old and you're wanting to throw a toga party, people think you're weird. And when you're 53 years old and you do a panty raid, it's a felony. And you're put on a sex offenders list. I probably seem a bit overdressed for the occasion. It's intentional. I told you all it's my first time, and I figured if I bomb and die up here, I'll be ready for burial. My pet peeve is political correctness. People saying that you're allowed to say this or you're allowed to say that, or don't say this, don't say that. Oh, for heaven's sake, don't talk about politics or religion. Why use that to my advantage? When I go to a function, that's all I talk about. I'll walk in and I'll start talking about the president, and a few people will back away, but then I bring up Buddha and a few more. But when I get to President Buddha, that raises a few eyebrows, And I keep going and going, and eventually I get into mentioning Jesus. But I've never made it to President Jesus before the buffet was entirely mine. I like buffets. I mentioned politics and political correctness. Speaking of politics, how many think affirmative action went too far in 08? Oh, that's a big joke. Oh, well. I know for a fact it was supposed to be HUD's crowning achievement, and I've heard through the grapevine that the Senate and Congress are moving out to the suburbs. This seems like racist jokes. I'm not racist. The only people that ever tell me that I are people of color. They tell me that all the time. I love people of color. They make me feel privileged. No, I really do hate racism because in real life I experienced it firsthand. I worked at a restaurant in Cleveland that was Eastern European, and it was two groups, and they hated each other. They liked the same music, same food, same clothes. They were identical, same accents, but they hated each other. It was like the English and the Irish. I guess the Northern Italians hate the Southern Italians, and there's all this hatred. It's horrible. It's a terrible thing. I think it all should be funneled into one and put towards politicians and lawyers. Okay, one last one. Why are you chicken across the road?
Why?
You don't know?
To get to the other side.
No! Because the other way is so much further.
Answer Alliance, the meth capital of the world.